Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Leashed On, a podcast where I'm leashed onto a certain topic for 15 minutes or more. Now, how have you guys been? I'm telling y'all I'm on this grind. It is Thursday. I posted Tuesday. Ignore the Aquaphor on my lips. Lips are cracking, but it's okay. That doesn't mean that my life sucks. Let's talk today about how things can be bad, but they don't have to be terrible. I think we all, and I engage with a lot of people who have, just the habit. I'm not going to call it good or bad, just the habit of seeing something in front of them and it not being what they want, or it not being good for them, or it not being something that is desirable, let's just say. And, they'll label it as like, oh, that sucks. And then everything else sucks. And then since everything else sucks, oh, my life sucks. And again, I'm not going to say it's good or bad, but I'm going to say that destructive habit causes, I just notice it a lot. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that could be bad, but that doesn't mean that it sucks. And it's even worse when other people have to make comments on it, right? Like, let's say my friend's going through that, and it's a habit that I'm noticing. And, even if I want to put in my 2 cents, well, like, oh, well, your life sucks, or say something, then it's like, oh, well, what do you mean my life sucks? Like, only I can say that. It's kind of one of those, like, little brother things that it's like, oh, I can hit you, but you can't hit me, but it's like, it doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to set limitations, especially when they're so negative. Like, why do you want to call say that your life sucks? Why would you? Bad is going to happen to everybody. Life's going to keep on going, but what about it? That doesn't mean that one's life is falling apart, or necessarily, like, I feel like for that to happen, you've got to label it within. Like, if my life was falling apart, I would have to say, oh yeah, my life is falling apart, but I'm not, because my life isn't falling apart. And I've exhibited this in somebody I used to really dislike that we've came since, but outside looking in, right? That person, they had habits that, like, again, I wouldn't really do. And I found, like, I had heard a lot of things about them through the grapevine and things like that. So it was like I was hearing more about them than I really even knew about them. So when I had that information, and I even used to tell myself, like, I hated that I knew so much about this person and I don't care for them, I don't like them. So when I was outside looking in, I would sit there and be like, they're ruining their life. Their life seems to be crumbling apart. They're just resorting to these things, to these people, because they have no one else. Time goes by. I rekindle with the person and I was like, you know what? I'll set aside everything in the past. Let me talk to him, see what's up, see what happened. And so we're talking, and I mentioned, we're kind of getting a little heart to heart. And I'm like, yeah, like, when I was outside looking in, I used to sit there and be like, yeah, your life sucks, and make all these comments like, were you struggling? Because, like, I would hate, like, that's kind of honestly bullying if, like, I'm sitting here saying all that and, like, low-key I was right, So we're talking, and they were like, no, honestly, like, I think that was one of the most, like, times that I needed to build who I was. And, they were like, not to be a little cliche, but that just is what I needed. It built me who I was, and I've made mistakes and I've made errors. Like the rumors that went around, some are true, some aren't. But to know that I was so heavily talked about when I was just chilling is like, why? And so that's just, like, made me think, because, I have an episode talking about drama and rumors, and, like, my rule of thumb is I really don't like drama. I've been there, done that. I hate the he said, she said game. Like, if somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh yeah, this was said, I'm going to go to the source directly and see exactly what was said, because people like to twist things and take them out of proportion. Like, let's say if I have a conversation with somebody, and yeah, we're on the phone for an hour, and it might be a little heated discussion where maybe I'm on the verge of tears and they're on the verge of tears, and we're both not understanding each other, but by the end of it, we're, like, chilled out. If they were to retell that, the ins and outs and the hots and colds of that story to somebody else, they can just sit there and be like, oh yeah, they were arguing and, like, crying on the phone with each other. And it's like, hey, that's actually not what happened. I mean, partially it happened, but it wasn't the initiative. That wasn't what started it. That wasn't what ended it exactly either. So being in that loop, like, I've been in drama, I've understood the he said, she said game. I know that at the end of the day, unhappy people are those who stir the pot. Once again, I've been there stirring the pot, and you want to know the only reason I was stirring the pot? Because I had nothing I just wanted chaos. My life was so chilling, and I was at such a, like, I was G's at my life that I was like, you know what? I just need something to spice it up. I just need something to talk about. And I'll admit, like, I've fallen down gossip rabbit holes. And I do definitely think that there's a difference between gossiping and a difference between, like, talking about your feelings and talking about something that happened and, like, planning and stuff like that. Like, I think that those are completely two different realms. But at the end of the day, like, really talking about anybody else is like, ugh, why are we spending time doing that? And you don't have to, you know, like, I know, there are times in like where I engage with people and I can tell that they need that. They need to let it out on whatever they're feeling, but I won't let that be our whole, like, hanging out, you know, like, if you're hanging out with me to let things off your chest, let's let the things off our chest, but we're also going to spend time and, like, make new memories or go for, like, a little side quest or do something, you know. I'm all about fun. And so, once again, people can't tell you how your life is going. People are going to love to assume, though. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, people are going to love to look outside looking in, and especially if they don't like you, best believe that they're going to have everything in the book to say on how your life is going. And in moments like that, you need to realize that they do not know you. It doesn't matter if y'all dated for 5 years. It don't matter if this was your best friend since kindergarten. They do not know you. You have every right and the freedom of being a human to drop everything you have right now and be somebody else. You do. Right now, you could decide, you know what, I genuinely want to be a person that I've always, like, had a friend crush on. You can be that person. You have every right to just drop that and be it. You know, like, that's just, like, so awesome. Like, you get to choose who you want to show up as. And obviously, the more consistent that you can make those traits, the more it becomes you. And it's not just like some act that you're putting on and like, oh, let me build up into who I want to be. No, you will be that. It will attach itself with your name, with your identity, with what you stand for, with your dreams. And sometimes you have to let people go because they don't align with what you want. It's my senior year. And not to be really corny, but I definitely have wanted to let it go out with a blast. I've joined tons of clubs. I started a club. I was able to be a part of homecoming. And I did go into it telling myself, like, yeah, well, I found my people. Like, I found my group of friends. Like, it's going to be us. And it's going to be us through, like, at least the end of my high school. And if, like, life hits us, then life will hit us. But at least I'm graduated and I already went through senior year with them. That didn't get to happen. We all just kind of had our own things going on. And when I realized that that's not the type of friendship I need, you know, I unadded them. And I've decided, you know, it's nice. They served an amazing purpose. And, you know, I had these expectations. But I can't continue to hold these expectations over their head because then it's just like I'm just nagging. And people don't like to be nagged. They just don't. Do you like to be nagged? I know I don't like to be nagged. So it's like, since that's not a desirable thing to do, but that's what I was just doing, let's just do us both a solid. Because I have these needs and I have continually put myself out here and said what I need and had these conversations and have kept them respectful and have been vulnerable, and I'm sitting here being looked at like I have 4 heads. I'm sitting here having everything I said being told to a lunch table. Mind you, I don't go to school. So, it's experiences like that you've got to realize, like, do you really want to keep putting up with that? Like, do you want to be somebody who's going to sit around and sulk and let that bad experience dictate that their life sucks, you know? No, you can feel it, though. You don't remember what I was talking about? Like, you know, you come to your room and you're by yourself, scream, cry, you know, do whatever. But trust that you can feel that. You have every right to feel that. Give yourself space to feel that. I gave myself a month to feel that. I was like sulking and down and sad about it for a month. But I'm okay. And then it's like after you feel all that, you understand to accept. Those people don't suck. When I'm able to talk about the situations, I don't sit here and say that they're evil, because why would I be with evil bitches? No. But I am able to sit here and say that it's okay that they weren't what I needed. I've spent too much time being around people, being in relationships, staying in jobs, doing things that weren't meant for me, that I just stayed just cause, just cause, like, I don't want to do the transition of a new job and meeting new management. I don't want to go through the transition of meeting somebody new and having, like, somebody new to call best friend. Like, it's just, I wanted a time where I wanted a area of stability. And it's like, girl, when is life ever going to be stable? Maybe when I'm like 60 in a rocking chair on my wraparound porch drinking some digital coffee. maybe then I'll be able to just chill on a porch, and calm down. But until then, I'm not there yet. And right now is the experiences that you get to build your life, to build your story, And you got to build a little lore to your life too. You got to be willing to do things that put you out there, that give you a story to tell, when you do see maybe your family, if you're close to them, or when you do see, like, your friends who you care a lot about. Like, yeah, girl, like, you won't believe what I did last weekend. Yeah, I, like, rode a Uber around town, and it was free. I didn't pay a dime. Oh, why didn't you pay a dime? Oh, because I flirted with the Uber driver. And what? You would do it too for a check. But you get to tell stories like that. And it's like, what? Other people are outside looking at them going to be like, oh, that's such dirty behavior. Da-da-da-da-da. But, girl, so what? People are always going to put their comments. And I feel like it's the same cliche topics I talk about a lot, like, you just got to keep being you when people are hating. But it's really difficult. And I've grown to understand that. Like, when I sit up here and I share my word, I sometimes experience the things that I'm talking about and sometimes I don't. Honestly, usually I've gotten a lot of, like, yes, like, go you for being yourself. But as of late, like, I've started to be like, oh, like, you're being yourself, that sucks. And honestly, like, it's just one of those things that, so what, I'm supposed to stop being me because y'all are thumbs me down? Like, every YouTube video is going to have at least one dislike, whether it's a joke or because somebody genuinely disliked it. Like, every YouTube video, you go on a YouTube video, there's going to be a percentage of dislikes. Like, there's not one video that has no dislikes. And it comes back to just, like, same thing. Like, there's not one thing that all of us as humans collectively hate. I talk about this, like, all the time. Like, think of one thing that everybody hates. You would probably think, like, freaking Hitler. But no, there's people out there who are trying to bring back neo-Nazism. So, do we really all hate Hitler? You would think. But alas, like, in moments like this is when you need to really reinforce your relationship with yourself. And not in a selfish way, but in a way that you have the highest self-respect for yourself that you have ever had in your life. And how may you do that, you may ask? Start small. Go ahead and declutter a bit. Declutter. Start in your room. Like, is there anything in your room that you're, like, holding on to that you don't need to? You could go ahead and let go. Do you have photos of people that you know that you don't even like seeing the dang photo? Why do you still got it? Declutter as much as you can. Self-respect, number one. The more minimal you can make it, the more room you have to bring improvement and bring new. You make it as minimal as you can, and then really understand, like, what is it that you want to do in life? What is it that keeps you going? And once you have that question and you have it answered, you are able to then co-align with people who want to get there too, or who want to see you get there. That's a heavy thing, because there will be people in your life who will be there like, oh, girl, like, that's good for you. And then always be jealous. Always be jealous. And those people, them wandering spirits, you cannot have around, because they will drain you. They will drain you. And it sucks, because, like, I'm, like, some people can sit here and be like, oh, well, I'm, like, always for my homegirls. I'm always here for all the people. But they may not be here for you. And that's when you have to put your self-respect first. You can continue to want to give that love, to want to give that support to a person. Maybe not just them, but somebody. And you will find that somebody to give it to. Give it to yourself first, and let's see where that goes. Just try it. Just try it. Just try to love up on yourself a little bit. Try to be your little cheerleader, your hype man, and see what comes for you. Because when you have your life intact and when you got everything going right for you, everything else is going to fall into place. Everything else is going to be like, oh, shoot, like, they're vibing, they're chilling. I want to be a part of that too. And it'll just gravitate. Like, when I talk about, it's like one of those universal laws, when you got your stuff together and you're showing that you know how to choose yourself, things will fall into place. Because when people realize that you don't choose yourself, old people start coming back, bad things start showing up on your plate. You're picking up what I'm putting down? So when you have self-respect and when you realize, hey, I'm gonna decenter myself around this specific thing. Like, let's say it is, social media. Or, like, let's say it is, like, doing something that you are like, oh, well, it's hindering me. When you decenter your life around it and you realize, like, okay, I can build a character separate from it, that's already step one, is realizing that. Step two is planning. And step three is actually getting there and being able to build that respect. And it's showing up in everywhere else. Self-respect looks like definitely if you're so stressed about friendships, because friendships should not be stressful. They should not. Once you realize that stress is starting to grow, walk away. Walk away and understand that it is something you are doing for your higher good. It is. What people are going to be mad at you for doing something good for yourself? Insecure people and jealous people will, because they don't know how to do that for themselves. If you walk away for something good for you and it has nothing but talking about you or gossiping about you or trying to make a big problem out of you, it's only because they admire the fact that you did that. They did. You think they're going to do it themselves? If they do it themselves, they'd be understanding. But that's the thing. People lack understanding because they haven't went through as many experiences as they should have. I think that some people do avoid drama. And the people who avoid drama and confrontation and are more avoidant, they will never understand what it is like to choose themselves. Because they just are so used to walking away. And not even walking away to choose themselves. Walking away to sulk in the despair of whatever stressors have came into their life. And they're sitting there like, oh, this sucks. And walk away from it. And then what? Come back to it and still talk about it. Is that really avoiding? Just because you unadded the dude on Snapchat, does that mean that that you just stop mourning? You gotta be intentional. So if you are like, okay, I'm gonna walk away from them, like, make sure you're walking away with understanding that there is better. Not walking away like oh, I just lost the best thing in my life. You walk away understanding that it's making room for better for you. And that is the key to self-respect. Is understanding the fact that if you do choose yourself, that nothing bad will come out of it because you trust yourself to be in better situations. That's self-respect. That is self-respect. And a lot of people like to say, oh, well, self-respect is like being modest in a bikini. No. Girl, if you know what you got in the package, don't be afraid to show it. Me, I don't got boobs, so y'all will never see me showing a little cleavage. I don't care for that. But anything else, yeah, y'all gonna see a little bit. Just a little bit. And it does come back down to if you are yourself and you show up authentically in everything you do, the wrong people just weed their way out, and the right people just make room. And when I say, like, right and bad, it's not, like, evil and good. I'm just talking more, like, just not meant for you. And that's okay. Like, I've grown to understand, and it's like, one of those things I hate understanding, because, like, girl, what do you mean? But not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like you. You don't have to do something bad to them. You just aren't their cup of tea. And that's fine. Because your tea bag will soak in better water. So, and that's okay. And that is okay. I've grown to realize, like, I've put myself in having conversations with people. And, I've asked, like, people important. And I'm like, yo, why don't they like me? Why don't they like me? But then I realized, like, oh, it's just because I'm not their cup of tea. And that's okay. Because, like, I am other people's cup of tea. And so when you can realize that it's like, okay, yeah, like, old girl may not kick it back with you. Maybe y'all did, like, rekindle at one point. But then y'all just grow so much that y'all just don't become each other's cup of tea anymore. Y'all don't. And there really is no telling, like, what foresees the future. But it's the mentality that'll help you gain more clarity. If you have a mentality understanding, okay, well, if I walk away from these things, better will come. Your future has nothing but to look there. You are saying that, so it's looking for it. And you don't even have to be in it. But it's just like, if you set yourself, okay, I'm making space for better things for me. Your mentality is now looking, okay, what is better for me? What is better for me? Okay, it's like a Tinder swipe. That's not better for me. That is better for me. That's not better for me. That is better for me. But it's because you have that app downloaded in your brain that you're going to be looking for it. So, this is my earliest episode. I just woke up and was like, oh, I gotta talk. But understand that choosing yourself isn't selfish. And that's one of the biggest things I've had to instill in my brain, that understanding that people may not like me and not doing anything about it is exactly what contributes to choosing myself. I sat there and had a conversation with my mom, and she was like, Patricia, you just need to choose yourself. And I was like, but, like, I mean, like, how? I mean, like, I choose myself by, like, going to bed early and, like, having my morning routine and, like, doing this and that. She was like, Bracy, no, you need to choose yourself. And I just give me like, I mean, I do. Like, Bracy, you need to choose yourself. Okay. So, is there a how-to guidebook or... But honestly, a beautiful monologue that can contribute to what I'm saying is Robin's in Stranger Things 5. When she said that you have all the answers within you. And you do. If you are so scared for choosing yourself and doing something good for yourself, just know that you have it all within you. You do. The things that are meant for you are so much bigger than what's in front of you. And you won't know it. You won't know it. You won't know it till you're there. And you're realizing like, oh crap, like I had to go through all that just to be here. When you choose yourself, you realize that everything that didn't choose you doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And you can miss it. You can miss it. I've made the grand error of missing things and thinking just because I miss it, I have to go back. No. You can miss things. You can miss those jobs. You can miss those people, those friendships, those relationships, those exes. You can even miss a version of yourself that you aren't anymore. But once you choose yourself, you understand that you can miss it. You understand that there is more for you out there. It's not just like confined to your senior year or your 8th grade year or your sophomore year. It's more to it. Because you're going to keep living more years that you'll be able to tell more memories and share more on. So, with that, I will see you guys next episode.